It's late. The kind of late when even the wind sounds different. The jack-o'-lanterns outside have burned low, their smiles melted, their candles dying. And the streets, empty now. Just the sound of leaves scraping across the road, and that uneasy feeling that something's still out there, watching. Halloween's supposed to end when the night does, but for some people, it didn't. You're watching Scary Nights by Malik. Tonight, I've got 3 Halloween stories that were never supposed to be told. Stories that still haunt the people who live them. So lock your door, turn down the lights, and don't look out the window. Because once you hear these, you'll understand why some people never celebrate Halloween again. It happened last Halloween night. The kind of night where the wind sounds like it's whispering, and the moon hides behind clouds like it's afraid to watch. I was home alone, handing out candy. My neighborhood goes all out every year. Decorations, fake fog, spooky music. But that night felt off. The air was too still. No laughter, no footsteps. Just quiet. Then came the first knock. 3 small taps on my front door. I smiled, grabbed the candy bowl, and opened it. No one was there. Just the fog rolling down my porch steps. I laughed to myself. Probably some kid running off after a prank. I left the bowl by the door and went back inside. 5 minutes later, another knock. Softer this time. Slower. I sighed. "All right, you little goblins," I muttered, walking back to the door. When I opened it again, there was someone standing there. A child, maybe 6 years old, dressed in an old-fashioned clown costume. White ruffles, red buttons, tiny hat. But the mask? It wasn't plastic. It looked like paper mache, handmade. The paint was cracked, like it had been used for years. The child didn't say a word, just held out a small orange pumpkin bucket. "Trick or treat?" I asked. No answer, just slow breathing through the mask. "Creepy costume," I said with a laugh, dropping candy into the bucket. "You out here alone?" The child tilted their head, slowly, too slowly, then whispered, "Not alone." A chill ran through me. "Where are your parents?" I asked. No reply. They turned and walked down my driveway, vanishing into the fog. I shut the door, locked it this time. My heart was beating faster than it should have. Maybe it was just a weird kid, I told myself. Or maybe someone's idea of a good scare. But an hour later, I heard it again. Knock, knock. I froze. Same sound, same rhythm. I peeked through the peephole. No one. But something was there. A small orange pumpkin bucket sitting on my porch. The same one. I opened the door a crack. "Hello? Kid? You forgot your..." The bucket was full. Candy, small toys, a single folded note on top. I picked it up. The paper was yellowed, the handwriting shaky. "You were kind to me. Don't answer when I knock again." I felt a sting of fear in my chest. This was getting too weird. I called out again. "Hey! Who's out there?" My voice echoed into the fog. Nothing. I shut the door and locked it again. Turned on every light. Tried to shake off the dread building in my gut. Then, around midnight, the power went out. Total darkness. And from outside, 3 knocks. Slow. Measured. The sound of small hands on wood. I grabbed my phone. No signal. I could still see the faint outline of the door from the moonlight through the window. Another knock. Louder. I shouted, "Who's there?" No answer. Then a voice, soft, childlike. "You opened the door before. You have to open it again." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" "Who are you?" The voice whispered. "You saw me. That means I can come back." I backed away, heart pounding. The doorknob began to turn. I grabbed the nearest thing, a flashlight, and shined it toward the door. Through the glass, I saw a face. Not a child's face anymore. The mask was gone. The skin beneath was gray, cracked, with black, hollow eyes that reflected the light back at me. It smiled. The voice was still small, still that same childish whisper. "You opened it once." "That's all it takes," I screamed and ran to the back door. Locked. Windows wouldn't budge. Every knock, every sound followed me, moving around the house, like it knew exactly where I was. Finally, silence. Then a whisper, right behind me. Twice. I turned. Nothing there. But the front door was open now. The pumpkin bucket sat in the middle of the floor, glowing faintly from inside. My flashlight flickered. The light landed on something scrawled across the wall beside the door. "Trick or treat twice. One for you. One for me." My heart pounded. I picked up the bucket with shaking hands. Inside was another note. "Now it's your turn to knock." I dropped it and ran outside, screaming into the fog. But the street was empty. Every house dark, every pumpkin cold. When I came back inside, the bucket was gone. And written on my front door, carved deep into the wood, were 2 words. "Thank you." The next morning, I told my neighbor what happened. She looked pale when I described the mask, the costume. "There was a boy like that," she said. "Used to live 2 houses down, died in a fire. Halloween night, 1978. People say he still knocks on doors looking for someone to let him in." That night, I moved the candy bowl outside. I didn't answer the door. But still, at exactly midnight, I heard it. Knock, knock, and a whisper from the other side. "Trick or treat." So tell me, if a child knocked on your door twice this Halloween night, would you open it? Tell us in the comments. What would you do if the trick-or-treater never left? It started at exactly 12:03 a.m. on Halloween night. I was alone in my apartment when my smart speaker, something I barely ever used, whispered my name. Daniel. I froze. It wasn't a notification, not a song, not Alexa or Google Assistant. It was a whisper, a woman's voice, slow, breathing between syllables. Dan-el. I told myself it was a glitch. Maybe it picked up something from the TV. Except, the TV was off. The room was dark, except for the soft blue glow from the speaker. That little ring of light, pulsing like a heartbeat. I said, "Who's there?" Nothing. The light stopped glowing. Silence. I laughed it off, told myself I was tired. Halloween night, working late, brain playing tricks. I turned off the lamp, lay down, and tried to sleep. Then, the voice again. Clear this time. Closer. "Daniel, don't go to sleep." I sat up fast, my heart hammered against my ribs. I stared at the speaker on my desk. It was glowing again, pale blue. I said, "What did you just say?" The voice replied, soft and calm, like someone right behind me. I said, "Don't go to sleep." My mouth went dry. I yanked the plug out of the wall. The light went out, but the voice didn't stop. It whispered from the unplugged speaker, "You shouldn't have done that." I dropped it instantly. My hands were shaking. I ran to my neighbor's apartment, Mia, a night shift nurse. She opened the door in scrubs, eyes half asleep. "Mia, my speaker. Someone's talking through it, even unplugged." She frowned. "You're kidding, right?" "No, come listen." She followed me back. We stood in the doorway. The room was quiet. The speaker sat on the desk, dark, silent. She said, "Maybe it connected to someone else's device? Sometimes Wi-Fi." Then the blue light blinked on, and the voice said, "Mia." She froze. Who said that?" The voice giggled. "You both look scared." I swear the light shifted, like it was watching us. I grabbed it, shoved it in a drawer, slammed it shut. Silence. Mia looked at me. I think you should call tech support. Or a priest. We laughed nervously, but she didn't stay long. I could tell she was spooked. After she left, I turned on all the lights. I didn't go near the drawer. At 3:17 a.m., I woke up to music playing. Old music. Static-filled, like from a record player. A woman humming. I got up slowly. The sound came from the living room. The drawer was open. The speaker was sitting on top of the desk again, still unplugged. It was playing that same humming, looping softly. Then over the music, a whisper. "I told you not to go to sleep." I stepped back. "Who are you?" I yelled. The voice laughed. "You don't remember me?" My head spun. "I don't know you." The light on the speaker pulsed faster. Then it changed, blue to red. "Check your recordings," the voice said. My stomach dropped. I opened my phone. The smart app had saved voice history. Dozens of clips from tonight. I played one. Static. Then my own voice. "Who's there?" Another one. "Daniel, don't go to sleep." Then one more. Recorded just minutes ago. A deep, distorted voice. "I'm right behind you." The speaker light went out. I turned slowly. The room was empty, but I could feel someone standing there, breathing. I grabbed my phone and started recording a video, the flashlight on. The footage showed nothing. Just the corner of my room, my desk, the dark. But when I played it back, there was a woman, standing behind me, pale skin, hollow eyes, mouth wide open, whispering something. The moment I saw that, the light flickered. My phone shut off, and the speaker said, "Now you've seen me." I bolted. I ran into the hallway barefoot, heart racing. Every apartment door was open, every room empty. Except the hallway speakers. Yes, the building had them for announcements. Were all glowing blue. One by one, they whispered my name. "Daniel, Daniel, Daniel." I ran outside into the freezing night air. But even there, cars parked along the street had their Bluetooth systems blinking. Voices came from everywhere. You can't run from what you connected to. The lights went out across the street. Then, one by one, windows in my building glowed blue. Every speaker inside, hundreds of them, whispering my name. I don't remember how I got to the gas station on Main Street. The clerk found me standing outside holding my phone, shaking. He said I kept saying, "It knows my name." When I showed him the video, the woman wasn't there anymore. Just me, staring at empty air. I threw the speaker away the next day, moved out a week later. But last night, I got a new phone. First thing it asked, "Would you like to reconnect your smart devices, Daniel?" Tell us in the comments. What would you do if your smart speaker started whispering your name this Halloween night? It started with music, faint, echoing down Maple Street. A slow, steady drum beat, mixed with laughter. But when I looked outside my window, there was no one there. It was Halloween night, 11:45 p.m. I live in a small town where people take Halloween seriously. Every year, the big parade ends around 10. After that, the streets go dark, quiet, empty. But this year, the music came back, long after everyone had gone home. At first, I thought maybe the high school band was doing a prank, but the sound wasn't right. It didn't echo like normal music. It moved, closer, then farther, like it was walking past the houses and underneath the drums. I heard voices, children laughing, feet marching, chains rattling. I stepped out onto my porch, phone flashlight on. The air smelled like cold metal and burnt leaves. No one was there. The streetlights flickered. Then I saw something. A single balloon, orange and shiny, drifting slowly down the road. It stopped right in front of my house and just hung there, still. The music stopped. Silence. I went back inside, locked the door, told myself I was imagining things, but curiosity got the better of me. I opened my town's community app and someone had posted, "Is anyone else hearing the parade again?" The comments poured in. "Yeah, just heard drums near Oak Street." "Kids are out marching?" My power keeps flickering. One person wrote, "My son says the people in masks are waving at him from the window." That's when I called my neighbor, Mrs. Palmer. She's lived here for 40 years. She answered right away, whispering, "You're hearing it too?" "Yes," I said. "What is it?" She paused, then said, "Get away from the windows. Don't look at them if they wave." "What are you talking about?" Her voice cracked. The Halloween parade was canceled in 1993, after the accident. I frowned. "What accident?" She whispered. "A float caught fire. Half the people on it didn't make it. The line went dead." I stood there, the phone still to my ear, heart pounding. Then, music again, louder this time, coming from right outside. I went to the window and pulled back the curtain just an inch. The street was full, marching figures, moving slowly past my house. But they weren't right. Their costumes looked old, like from another time. Paper masks, torn fabric, some burned around the edges. One man's face was completely blackened, like soot had melted into his skin. Children skipped beside them, holding melted plastic pumpkins. None of them made eye contact, until one woman turned her head slowly toward me. Her mask was half gone. Underneath it, her face was burned, blistered, peeling. She raised her hand and waved. I stumbled back, slammed the curtain shut. My hands were shaking so bad I dropped my phone. From outside, I heard the woman's voice. "Come join the parade, Daniel." My stomach dropped. How did she know my name? I ran to the door, made sure it was locked. Then I heard the sound of small feet on my porch. Tap, tap, tap. And a child's voice said, "Trick or treat." I didn't move, didn't answer. But the knocking grew louder, harder. "Trick or treat." Then silence. After a moment, I looked through the peephole. No one there, just the balloon, tied to my doorknob. I backed away, terrified. The parade music started again, this time inside the house. It was faint, like coming from the living room. I turned the corner, and there they were, the marchers, dozens of them, walking in a slow circle around my couch, their feet dragging against the floor. No sound except the faint rattle of their chains and the crackle of burned clothes. In the center of the room, Mrs. Palmer, eyes wide, mouth trembling. She whispered, "They always come back for one more parade." Before I could speak, one of the marchers reached for her. His hand burned into her shoulder like hot coal. She screamed, then turned to ash, gone. The others turned toward me. Faces melted, masks warped. Their eyes glowed a dull orange, like dying embers. I ran for the back door, but it wouldn't open. The handle was ice cold. I could hear their footsteps behind me, slow, heavy, dragging. And a voice whispered right against my ear, "It's your turn to lead the parade." The lights went out. When they came back on, the room was empty. The balloon still floated in the corner, brushing softly against the ceiling fan. Outside, the sound of drums faded down the street, marching away. The next morning, the local news said several people reported hearing music, but no one saw a parade. Except one photo someone posted online. Blurry, taken from a second-story window. A crowd of figures marching past, and at the front, someone holding the orange balloon. The comments said it looked like me. Tell us in the comments, what would you do if a Halloween parade passed by your house when no one else could see it?